All right, Lee, I got a joke for you.
I love jokes.
What's the difference between a snowman and a snow woman?
I mean, you know, I don't really think of those things as being gendered per se, right? So I don't know if we really need to draw those sorts of distinctions, really.
I see.
No?
No snowballs, Lee. No snowballs. Your progressive thinking bullshit, it's a joke. All right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost?
That's right.
1997's Jack Frost. Lee had just seen it before.
I'm not sure. I might have. This is kind of legendary for a couple of reasons.
Sure.
I feel like I was aware of it, and I might have seen it at the time, but not to the extent that I really remembered it.
This is a classic. So if you've not seen Jack Frost, highly recommend.
See Jack Frost.
This is like a bad movie's bad movie. Like this is like it is legendary in some circles. Where this I think definitely tops a lot of people's good bad movies.
Yeah.
This is on a lot of like Christmas top lists because you have your holiday, you have your a snowman associated with the Christmas season. And of course, you have just this over-the-top premise of a man who becomes, a snowman serial killer.
If you've seen The Ginger Dead Man, this is like a better version of that. This
Yes.
is like an earlier.
It was almost way better than that.
Ooh.
This was originally slated to have a $30 million budget, but that didn't happen.
What did they end up with?
I don't know. It's not written anywhere.
You're like less. I don't know how much.
I would say a million, maybe.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We'll talk
No,
about
but-
more of that shit in the spoilers, though.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, though. This is like a bad movie that's good, though. I watched it twice, and like the first time through, I kind of didn't like it or something.
Okay.
I thought it might be slow or like whatever or like something like that. But something like magical happened the second time that I watched it, and I was like, no, this is good. Like when I was trying to think of like stuff that I wanted to mention here, everything was like, that's good. Oh, gotta say that. That's good. I kept this like long list of like good things, and there's really nothing, at the end of the day where I'm like, this is bad, or like, I wish this wasn't like this or something, because it's kind of the perfect bad movie. It's for several reasons that I must spoil the movie to get into. So
Indeed. So we're going to get all into that in a moment. So if you've seen it or don't care, falls over to spoilers. And if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Jack Frost. Lee, let me know about those spoiler-filled thoughts of yours.
Jack Mother Effin' Frost. No, just to go into like the details of all the different things that happen. Like, it's a strange movie, right? But it has a certain charm. I guess to cut to like the actual point that I want to, instead of hinting at it, right?
Don't allude. Give it to me.
This takes it to like a new level, because this is like the same way certain good like satires or parodies or like whatever are. This has elements of like a Twin Peaks, like a small town, like a winter small town cop show, cop movie, small town cops. Like it has that vibe in it.
Sure, and it's laying it on thick. We're like, they're from Snowmanton.
We just crossed the Snowmanton County line.
Yes,
It
yes,
is a
knows,
parody
yes.
of itself, and
Right.
it's not, and that's probably its biggest saving grace,
No,
where you
no,
don't have
but
to
like-
overcome anything or get someone to bite off more than they can chew here. It is a ridiculous movie, and it's
Yes.
being a ridiculous movie.
And it knows it, and it's not just like I don't know how to explain it like accurately, but like it's doing a good enough job. Like it's making fun of that, but it also is that. If you have the deputy and he's chiming in, and like all this stuff's happening the way that it should. You have the coroner or like the medical examiner. I don't understand how this could happen. Like all those scenes are in there, but it's about a killer snowman.
Thank you. No problem.
Do something.
Like what? Teach him how to shoot better?
And the killer snowman part is not phoning it in or like not laying it on thick enough either. That's cranked all the way up.
Ah! Just a minute! Let me see! Oh, I think it is! I think I've got some flesh! Oh, yeah!
So like,
For sure.
it's really giving me a lot of what I want, because like that stuff in between the killer snowman stuff is really important to me. Where sometimes sometimes movies are just like, listen, you're getting your killer snowman, all right, go jack off to that and then fucking leave me alone. And this like because there's like a snowman contest. And there's like a thing with like the Shannon Elizabeth wants to get it with this guy, and they're off doing
Shannon
their
Elizabeth
thing.
in her
And there's
first
all
movie.
These things. This is her first movie.
This is her first movie.
This is pre-American Pie.
Yes.
Oh wow.
In American Pie, she had a boob job already. In this, she did not.
I didn't notice that, but
In this, she is like this is her first, and she is nude, but only in like words.
You're not
because
really
she's
seeing her
covered by a
nude.
snowman appropriately and all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's almost funny, where it's like probably like, oh no, I won't do that. Oh yeah, for the biggest movie that year, yeah, I'll do that.
No, it's very well because like I thought it was the other way around, where they saw her assets in American Pie and wanted her for
No.
this. I guess it was the other way around, where they were like, oh, she might do nicely for this exchange
Because
student.
I think this was filmed like 3 years before it was released. So like while it might have came out around the same time,
Right.
this was filmed earlier. This apparently they had like a lot of production issues, but I couldn't find anyone to
can't
actually
imagine.
say what they were. It was a weird thing. Like, I
Yes.
read that thing where it said like it originally was going to have a $30 million budget with a different director, and then they lost the director, lost the funding, and then lost a lot of like things that just would be not had to spend to the budget because it was filmed in the winter, but it was like a normally warm winter.
Right, they had, like,
so it's
stuff
all
working
fake
against
snow,
them.
and
Yeah.
you can see in the background of some shots where like it's green over there, like. So like that alone eats a lot of your money. We're like, okay, I gotta put fluff down to hide
yeah,
this fake snow and stuff.
And like Shannon Elizabeth too, I guess, but like everyone in this is like, oh, is that guy? It's like, no, this is another guy. And then you check all their IMDb's, and it's like detective whatever, sergeant whatever, like
Yeah,
lawyer.
like you're in 100
cop.
things, but
Yeah.
it's of the same kind of guy that you're in
Yeah,
this.
and it's a lot of TV, a lot of people who are on the X-Files for like one episode, like
Yeah.
Law and Order for one episode. It's like
Cash Cab.
those types of Cash Cab. All the heavy hitters out there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's got that vibe because you're like, oh, he's got like he kind of reminds me of this
A lot
actor.
of vibes though, yeah.
Yes.
People that look like or act like
But
or
he's not
seem
the guy.
like.
Yeah.
I think this movie like is it's a joke movie, but I think it nails the prison transport.
Say, pal, how about a smoke?
Say, Frost, why don't you shut the hell up?
Thing better than other movies where like, why is that guy the guy seems like a badass with a cigar and gets taken out, his neck gets snapped with his shoe, and he's like, everything's okay back here.
We're doing fine.
Real vibe.
This whole thing, no, like Jack Frost, that guy's awesome.
Yes.
and I'm glad that they had flashbacks to show him off more and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say
'Cause
I would have liked
oh,
a
no,
little
what
bit
if you're
more
not in
of
there?
him. Yeah, because it's not like Gary Busey in the beginning of Gingerbread Man, where you're like, what is happening here?
No, Gary
Are you having a
Busey-
stroke? Did you
yes.
take 6 takes at once and put them all together here? Because this guy was awesome and should have been given more over the top type of like Steven Dorff roles.
Take a good long look at this face, because the next time you see it, it's gonna tear your world apart. I'll find a way.
Like,
No, and he had a great face, and he has like one of those killer lines where it's like, this is gonna hurt.
This is gonna hurt.
And then like gets hit with all the
Yes,
chemicals,
yes.
and I'm like, oh, this guy's great.
like
and
an over the top, crazy amount of chemicals hit that boy.
And then like as he's melting, I realized like, oh right, he's the snowman, so
Yeah.
we're never gonna see this guy again. But I like this guy. Oh no, and we get some flashbacks, and they're okay. But I agree, I would have liked more of that
Yeah.
dude and stuff to be
Like if the snowman
over the
could
top.
turn into a person or something like that.
The
I thought they
reform.
missed and maybe it was the budget. Maybe they were going to get this.
Yeah.
I thought they missed an opportunity where there's all those snowmen because the snowman contest.
It's a snowman. I'm gonna call her Cindy Snowflake.
I think it's very cool.
All right.
If he like has an army
Army
of
snow
snowmen that he
people,
brings
yeah,
up,
exactly.
like he just dribbles a little of himself on each one of them. They're like, ah, ha, ha, and you get the
Exactly.
different personalities like gremlins and stuff.
Yeah.
Could have been cool. Didn't get that.
You liked the chemical scene though? You liked the
I liked a
transformation?
lot of the
I thought it was
things.
some good melting.
I always like when people overcome something where I'm like, how would you do that scene? Like the car flipping per se. Like I'm like, okay, what did you do there? Is the camera just on a jig and you just spun the camera there? Because like it worked. I was like, that was okay. The weird cartoon effect of like when it's taking over into his
When
his,
it
like,
zooms
cells.
into his blood cells and it has little like icicles on like red
Yeah.
blood cells, yes, and that's a cartoon for some reason. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Yes.
There's lots of little things like that where I'm like, okay, I like that. And of course, they had a couple of effects on Jack Frost himself, like various states of melting and damage, and I like that.
And you mentioned the various states because it keeps cutting back and forth, and he has switched to like the next state completely, and that's funny to me, but also like like it works. I'm like, this is competent melting. I'm okay
It's
with
this thing where like, yes, it is funny, but I'm impressed that they did anything at all because.
Right.
It's not something I was going to expect the first time I saw this, and I don't think at the age I first saw this I could appreciate a lot of the things that happen in this movie. I think I was just like, haha, funny snowman movie.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Right? You just like consume with like, it's like this, but it's a snowman.
Yeah.
And that's the only joke. Yeah, but it has a lot more to it.
I remember thinking the snowman teeth were super creepy, like the like icicle teeth.
Yes.
I like that. It's got a lot of elements there where you're like, okay, you're doing something. You're stroking my enjoyment like over here. I like that.
I can help you. Maybe turn you back. But I'm having so much fun just the way I am. Wait.
Like the premise here is this prisoner that our main cop guy has a history with is being transported to be killed that night. And then gets to an accident with a chemical mutation truck and then turns into the thing. There's a witness. He says like he didn't have any legs. He was just moving through the snow. It was like he was part of the snow. It's this like crazy thing, right?
Only he couldn't run. It was like he was trying to. He didn't have the legs.
And we get like the FBI or some guy comes into town and he's like, this is my jurisdiction now, and this whole bullshit.
A poor man's Casper Van Dien.
Which one?
The guy that has the gun on his like his black sweatshirt with his thing.
What? He's not. He's got like a beard and stuff. He
reminds me of Casper Van Dien in Python.
Shed its skin.
Okay. Oh, the one role where he's not Casper Van Dien. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, that's why he's a
Sure.
half-ass version of of a man.
Yeah, because every character is the poor man's version of like whatever in this movie, right?
That guy, I really hated that FBI agent, except for the part where he punches like Paul.
No, she had wires coming out of her. She had little lights in her. Paul, look at me. Paul. Oh, God.
I was like, okay, that part was good. Everything else he did was bad.
He had an interesting function in like the script, though. Yeah. But no, like they've cordoned it off. They're like nothing to see here. Move along or whatever. But then strange things start happening in their quiet, wintry little town.
Look, old man Harper lived way out here 5 miles outside of town.
What does that mean? We all live on the outskirts of town.
Right, and so do we, and we're not scared.
I love how they are receiving these deaths and not like it just you have to get the token like one guy's eating while one guy's throwing up because that's every cop movie ever.
You don't reckon we should leave her up for the 12 days of Christmas then?
You know, it's like, I'm gonna put my sandwich on this dead body. Oh, okay, let me check my files.
Oh yeah. When they go, and like the first death, right? The shots frame with like the head back,
The
and
head
like
is
the front
yes.
of the thing, and all the cops like, yep, he's dead, like all that stupid like.
The best part about that is the body is rocking, and the sheriff's like, get your foot off that rocking chair.
I don't want this thing spreading any more than it needs to. Whole town will go crazy. Once you get Doc Peters, take your foot off the chair.
Yeah, it's rocking the whole time.
Yes.
And you're just like, why is it rocking? And he goes, what are you doing? Yeah, yes. Yeah,
like little stupid things like that, calling those things out.
Yeah, they took like a little more time to make those things a little better, right? There's a little extra shit in there.
And like some of those little extra things don't make sense. Like
How dare you?
Shannon Elizabeth is dying and her hands are like bound by snowman. She's like in mid-coitus. And like there's like a screaming for help from outside, and the guy's like, "Oh, how's it going?"
Yeah, like the hand, like this.
But she couldn't be waving.
No, that was funny though.
It was funny. It's a weird thing because the town is already in lockdown. So I'm like, why is that guy even there? And what the hell is with these two kids? They're like, I know what I do for kicks. I break into the sheriff's house, take a bath.
We're gonna fuck in the sheriff's. All right, hold on. We'll go there. That's fine. Her entire family has died.
Oh yes.
Everyone is dead. It's not clear to me whether or not she knows that.
Well, she knows her brother's dead, and that's enough,
right?
And where in God's name you think you're prowling off to like some lady of the night? Her grief isn't good enough for you? You may not have cared for your little brother.
Jesus, Dad, I loved Billy.
To know that your brother's dead and just go, I'm gonna go party though.
I gotta go fuck. I gotta go get it in. And like she goes with the boy. Yeah, they choose, and like it's her idea, right? She's like a danger girl.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, oh, this is how she's processing the grief of her dead family. I have to go fuck this random townie in the sheriff's house because they're all busy with this like disaster, this emergency. Let's go fuck in their house. And then she has the audacity to like deliver an ultimatum. I need a roaring fire and wine. I'm gonna go upstairs and like freshen up. And I'm like, what? You are like on a mission. You were supposed to be like taking care of this.
She's using her hair dryer. She sees a random bath drawn, and it's like, oh, he must have done that for me.
Obviously, we live here now. And this is our house.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tommy.
But
super goofy.
But the saving thing here is when they strip.
Okay.
And it takes so long because they have
so many layers.
They have so many layers of winter clothing on. And there's like music playing, and the music speeds up as they start to quickly take off all their clothes. It takes so long. That made me laugh. I was like, that's unnecessarily competent and funny in the middle of this whole thing.
I just laugh because like this is the scene where that kid should be the sheriff's son, and it should be a thing. And like, oh, but he's not.
But the sheriff's son is like 11, so we couldn't use him. Yeah, it was
11
so
and accused of the murder of that boy.
I'm not nuts. There's one goddamn psycho in this town, and it's your kid, Sheriff.
Who other people saw it happen. Like, you couldn't think it was his fault.
And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't give a rat's ass about Tyler's little snowman. Huh.
Like when I say that it puts tropes in there, it doesn't like use them properly because that kid's
they're
like
just there by definition. They're not actually used.
And that boggles my mind, and I really enjoy it because the sheriff's son is like, it wasn't me, Daddy, it was the snowman. But that never like there's never any like, I'm sorry, I didn't believe you, boy, and it never comes into play again, and no one says he's crazy. So you know. That the dead kid's father says it was your son. He's touched by the devil and stuff like that, and that too never matters, because they die immediately. But like
that guy dies with an axe in the most unexpected way.
The other end.
Yes, it shoved down his throat. He like choked to death on it, or it like ripped through his organs. I don't know what the.
When he's on the ground though, he just has an axe coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So it can't be going down the way it is later. It's very funny. It's very funny.
It's certainly goofy.
And they comment, the medical examiner's like, they must use so much force to push this down. It's crazy.
Yeah. I like the display of powers that we get from Jack. He can fully melt himself.
It can freeze and unfreeze at will. It melted, came through the doggy door, and refroze on the inside.
He like can't be killed, it seems, because even when he's diluted into the antifreeze, he's still like bubbling in there. He's like, oh, I'm good. Yeah. Because it would stand the reason too. If you did spill it out, they would separate eventually. The water would come out, the chemical would go this way because they're not the same weight. Eventually, he'd be in there doing something. And they did make a sequel.
But he can't freeze.
Yeah.
It's antifreeze.
Well, while he's touching it, once he separates out.
Can we talk about this though?
Please.
The sheriff's son was trying to kill his dad. He made him antifreeze oatmeal.
I'll put it in the baggie.
Coward.
And I'll have it for lunch, okay?
Some more.
Thanks. Fill it up.
He did make him antifreeze oatmeal. He wanted to keep him warm.
This is another like filmmaking thing because they have the stupid thing, the kid's doing kitchen shit like a kid would do, and he's like, okay, put it in this bag for me. Okay, takes it with him. There's like a voiceover like, Dad, I made this just for you, and he goes back to the trash and takes it out. Then he randomly shoves it into Jack Frost's face, which causes him grievous damage, like horrible melting damage.
I think about those type of moments a lot because like, what if he did eat it? You just like that kid grows up 30 years later, like. In therapy, he's murdered his father.
I didn't want it to be cold. Oh!
Yeah, all the good intentions,
exactly.
They don't matter. They don't matter.
It was this close to some horrible thing. But there's no, like even that moment when he's like, what did you do to this oatmeal? Well, tell me. And then he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, tell me. And then when the kid tells him, the look on the sheriff's face.
Hey, what did you put in the oats?
Antifreeze.
sorry.
I couldn't tell, and like for a second, I'm like, was he like, my son's an idiot? like, what was he doing? But
my son's an idiot.
But he had the vibe of like, you beautiful bastard, you genius, or something. But he was just, but it's like, you put antifreeze in your oatmeal, dude. What are you doing?
How'd you feel about just like the redneck hot tub of antifreeze that pulls up?
It's cavalry, asshole.
In like the perfect placement and timing, and like they fly out. Like they had to have actually done that. Like he went through the window into the hot tub. Like someone did that. That's like back when people would jump out of like, I do the high dive into a thimble of water. Like I guess there could be pads inside that. It was
right?
it was colored water, so it could hide a number of sins.
And it's a big mess of like the fake snowman there felt like big pillows too, right?
True,
it seems
true.
Like a whole thing. Still crazy, but
I still wouldn't want my neck to break on the bed of a truck. Cause
I mean, I don't know. Yes, there's a lot to like consider with that. I'm not sure how they pulled off that effect. But
the shot, at least the shot we see him landing on that pillow snowman, does look like our lead actor.
Okay, yeah.
So like,
I don't know if they just cut the right.
They could have.
Yeah, but no,
I
like,
didn't actually rewatch. Just thinking about it.
I like that ending when he's just like wrestling like you would with a pool toy.
Yeah.
This like snowman to like melt it. And then the kid's like, you missed the spot, here's an arm. No! And
Dad, you've got this arm.
No, Ryan!
he has to like, he's like baptizing his kid in the antifreeze to like melt the, you know, the last arm. And like, when I say that, it's like, that's, someone thought or wrote that. That's like on the page, like that's the gravity of the situation.
Oh yeah.
To fight this killer snowman. And that's what makes this a good, bad movie, is that type of like, it's like, is it slow-mo? Does the sound drop out? Did I make that up? It feels like a very
both those things.
It feels like a very dramatic moment. Where he's like saving his kid now and stuff. It's great.
Did you like when they blew up the police station with like bug bombs?
Yes.
I was like, what do you think are in bug bombs?
There's a
like what?
There's a scene after that where people rush into one of the rooms and the room is fine. And then they cut to the ground where there's like one piece of paper on fire. And that's their like, nailed it, we got it, folks. And even the explosion is like in the reflection of the cop's eye or one of their eyes.
Somebody remember to put out the cat.
Oh, it's
hey, you can't
perfect.
do everything.
Listen, that is better executed than dozens of movies that we've watched.
Sure.
Where it's been like, I blew up, I guess, and that's there's nothing, and like not even in like a funny way, just like nothing.
I do love the reconstituting of the snowman after that explosion. I just think they did a couple of little, like, just if you would have moved the snow block a little bit, because they laid things like on the snow, so things got like they moved in a weird way. Where I'm like,
because they're just playing it in like reverse, and the way that it falls around some of the debris. I agree. It was like a little like.
It's the only part of that particular scene.
They can only do it once though.
It seemed.
That's all they had.
Well, again, they had to import the snow. That was just them scraping freezers.
The snow is literally in the shape of like big cups, like dumped out. Like it has the cylindrical shape.
Well, you know,
it's
gotta do what you gotta do.
This movie's even better than I thought.
Fuck it.
I do love when the snowman, goes at the kids that are in the broken into sheriff's home, and the kid is like, all right, I'm gonna fight you, snowman, and is like just ice picking him, like and like.
Listen, just stay back.
Maybe punches him like.
And he's like, what are you? Like, why won't you die? Yeah.
The way he was stabbed though had a weird look to it. Like it's an icicle through him, and like it's like going into like a paper, like a poster on a fake wall or something. Like it just felt very much like a non-real wall.
No, like when it comes out the other end, right? And it like moves all weird, and you're like, what?
Like nothing is holding it.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just jumped out as like, what do you got here? In like a movie that has a good amount of jump out things, but like certain ones like that stand out to me.
Yeah.
I liked the overall effect. I liked the kid like, our snowman, like putting his hand in his mouth and stuff. And I was like, oh God, don't do that.
You see like the teeth in there,
Yeah.
and it's this weird moment of like, because that's the beginning, that's the like intro of
Mhm.
like, oh, you made a nice snowman out there, Tommy, and he's like, I didn't make a snowman, and it's like, oh, go put these things into it. It gives him a carrot, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
no, and you're like, no, he's gonna kill his kid.
But it's not finished. It needs a face. So I thought that maybe you could go outside and finish that up before.
The best, worst scene in this movie for sure, though, is when the police station is being invaded by Jack in the form of a puddle, and the FBI guy's like, ah, and he starts shooting the puddle.
Damn it, it's not working.
He's only vulnerable in his elemental state.
English stone.
He can only be hurt when he's frozen.
And it's not damaging the floor at all.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Is it?
When he starts shooting the puddle, I'm like, we did it, folks. Everyone, clear the phones. We have a winner. We're done. No more call-ins. Like,
We did it.
Yeah, no, literally, that's what I want. Is like you said, guns couldn't hurt him, and then it's like, no, he's fine. Oh no, what do we do? He's getting in as water. Starts shooting the puddle. Like
It's
great.
so good. It's as good as them like, oh, we're locked in here. Where are the keys? It's a glass window.
Damn, it's locked. Stand back.
No, don't do that. You'll blow the place.
Where's the fucking key?
Heck.
That looks like it's made of nothing. Like when they open it, it like looked like it was struggling not to break off and fall outside. I love scenes like that when it's like, well, we don't own this location, so we can't do this logical thing. So we are trapped in here because of this chintzy lock and that glass window.
Don't leave without me.
I think they wanted to have him run back and get the keys so badly that they didn't care like what window they had, and they were just like, do it. Because he meets the
It
other
could have been
guy.
a door. They could have made it a door, and it would have been like, oh yeah, doors, solid steel.
You're
Good.
limited to what you have, though. Yeah, but it's in the jail, right? And he picks up that other guy on the way back. The whole scene. There's a few scenes like this when he like approaches the keys, and it's so drawn out, and it's so
He like can't pick things up.
It becomes like Naked Gun though to me, or like Austin Powers, where he's just like, and he's like looking,
Yeah.
he's like slowly reaching for it.
It is like that
There-
being run over by the
Yeah.
what do they call that thing? A
Steamroller.
Steamroller.
There's
yeah.
a part later, or like earlier, where the wife is like approaching the kitchen cabinet, which is like leaking water or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's all squatting weird and reaching slowly and like approaching it. I'm like, you know, there's anything wrong yet? Why are you so scared of your cabinet? And it's perfect though. It's great.
And that like randomly, there's a B&E from like the other and like sheriff of the town. Like he doesn't knock, he just bursts into her house. You have a pipe leaking? Ah!
Good thing your husband sent me. I'm here
Yeah,
to help.
very strange. I was like,
Yeah.
is that how it is in your town?
Exactly.
And I can understand doors not being locked. And had she screamed a lot, like, water! Ah! What's happening?
Runs
Ah!
in.
And then like he slips and has to try to fix it or whatever.
He's all wet. Puts on his wet hat. It's disgusting.
I loved him explaining like how to fix her linoleum. Like closes her door, walks back around, picks right back up when he opens the door.
Yes!
Little things like that are genius.
Go up there from all the water being on down there. You. Get some caulk and get that.
That's genius.
I know.
And like Towny stuff earlier too, with his like, what do they call those? Secretary, whatever.
His
Like,
secretary looks like someone famous and is fantastic.
Luckily for you, Joe, the power to cloud men's minds is a responsibility I take very seriously.
She's great. They intro her in like I keep thinking about Twin Peaks for some reason, but it's not really that.
Small town.
But there's like
They have lumber.
He's like, what happened? Somebody died, and then just cut to her picking up the note,
Yeah,
which is
somebody
like a time and something else, and then just says somebody died, just literally bang to bang, the joke. And then later, where it's like your place or mine or whatever, and she's like Janine from the Ghostbusters. She's had it.
She would be
doesn't
Rhea
want
Perlman if
anything.
they had more money.
Yeah, exactly. It's
When
a
she
great role
fills
for
the
her.
sheriff's coffee, and then the other guy, the FBI, is like, and she just goes, cheers, and then walks away.
Yeah,
I was like, give her a raise.
Yeah,
She's
it cuts
fantastic.
to her. It cuts to her at one point in like the background going, huh, or some weird thing like that. I'm like, gift that. I need that in my gift library. Yeah, Like it was super nice, and yeah, I think when they do the Your Place or Mine, when they go off, I don't think you see those characters ever again. They just went to go fuck away the rest of this disaster, which I think is beautiful, and I think should happen more. I think people should just be like, I'm not participating in this in this movie anymore. I'm gonna go have sex.
Well, but the movie should pick up after the credits, like
with them smoking in the room. Yeah, exactly, and be like, what do you think happened? I don't know. I took the phone off the hook. That's good move. Passes the cigarette. Yeah, and just do that. Yeah, no, with like one foot sticking out, his boot's still on. Yeah, man.
Your place or mine?
Yours.
Come on!
So the ultimate thing that makes this like a good bad movie to me is you kill him, like, your attempt to kill him is by putting him into the furnace. And the way to coax a man into something that's like 1,000 degrees is to use hair dryers. Because no one would ever rally against the thing that's cooler. They would obviously back themselves into the thing that's way hotter. Yeah. And I always think lots of movies do things like this, and I think it's always hysterical. But when they do it, it's like a genuine joke. When other movies do it, they're like serious.
Right.
So I do love that.
No, it was too good though to have.
Oh yeah.
Like the people lined up and.
And they're like ancient hair dryers. Like they scoured eBay for weird things from the 70s, all different colors and shapes with giant motors.
Everyone has their their own hair dryers, and they're all coming at him at different angles. It's like half the town. It's this awesome thing. Then the priest shows up and he does the cross motion with his hair dryer. Before you lays it out.
You expect though, because you do see there's a big tangled knot of electricity, and you would expect, because he's melting on his way to the furnace, that like he would like get his water in there and short it out or something, because he doesn't ultimately kill him. So you'd think something there could happen in a humorous way, or even the fact that if he does get into the furnace, he still melted a lot along the way. You're not killing all of him. There should be something there.
I guess he did melt some. I felt like he was just like, I don't like this. I'm leaving.
Oh, no, they showed water on the ground.
They showed water melting on the ground, yeah. I like the attempt to say, because, there's a lot of awesome dialogue from that scientist, like the soul is real. It's a chemical and stuff shit. But I like the conclusion of like, sustained heat. That'll prevent him from reconstituting, right? Because if we just keep him, right? But
it makes sense.
They didn't think about the steam pulling up.
Oh, shit.
And then creating somewhere else away from the heat. So good. Yes.
Yeah, and like he is almost like an ultimate bad guy,
yeah.
Which is great because if it's always good when you see a B movie, and if you were to paint this character in a different light, it would be like that's the ultimate terror, but it's like a joke.
Right, exactly, because that's the whole thing. Is like yes, his like powers are incredible.
Yeah, they're unbeatable.
But he's a fucking crazy stupid snowman, which is great. It's a good combination of things.
Indeed. No, this is a fun movie.
Marlo, don't touch that.
What's the problem, Sam? It's just a scar.
Something I liked that was subtle too, really early with the FBI agent in the very beginning. You have that witness who like saw everything happen. Mm-hmm. And he's like questioning him, and the FBI guy says like, "Let's go for a stroll." And then the witness who's like in shock, PTSD, has like a like blanket on. He reaches up his hand to like have him help him up, and the guy just looks at him like what and walks away. Doesn't help him up, and then the guy gets up like and like walks after him. It's because this happens so early. You're like, what is the tone of this? Because we've painted the whole intro, but they're
we actually skipped completely over the intro. The intro is like the director like reading this story that's like potentially from Jack's point of view to like his grandkid or something. Because it's this weird a tale of killing snowman.
The intro credit sequence might be enough to turn off the movie, which would be a shame.
Tell me a story.
No, it's late. Go to bed. Santa will be here soon.
No, I want a story. Please.
All right.
No, I like that. I think it's a good use.
Like it?
Well, I like in movies when the credits are like on a thing rather than popping up and stuff.
No. Like the visuals are fine because it's like ornaments. Right?
Oh, you just mean the story.
Grandpa, tell me a story, and then he's like, it kind of rhymes. That's cool, but it is like the
I had no
story.
memory of that story.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie like 4 times.
No, because your brain
it's forgettable.
Your brain cuts it out to like protect you from it. It's like it's a self-defense mechanism. Yeah, because like that part is so cringy to me of like because it sounds like a poor man's Malcolm McDowell voice acting a rhyming poem about Jack Frost, and then like they dub in the fake or like the real kid that sounds fake or the fake kid being like, oh no, and all that stupid shit. It's like, ugh, I hate this so much.
He'd stick knives in their faces and cut out their tummies, then stamp on their heads till their brains got all runny.
Uncle Henry, I don't think this is such a...
You wanted a story. You got a story.
Something I didn't hate, probably my favorite part of the entire movie as far as one-liners go. You're going to think less of me. It's when the sheriff imitates Jack Frost's voice to do like a witty comeback. He said,
I don't remember this.
Jack Frost says something, and then the sheriff goes, "That's exactly what I had in mind." And he's doing his voice back to him.
You are so fucking good. Just what I was thinking, Jack.
And I'm like, was that just like a fake take or like a fun take, and you put it in the movie? Like, how did that even happen? That's crazy.
I remember now that you said
it's
it,
insane.
Yeah, I don't know how to take it.
And it's right in the middle of our climactic, ending set piece and all that stuff, like right before he has to run upstairs and everything.
When a movie's this ludicrous, though, you really can't put too much like.
No, but they pull it off. They did a great job. This movie works on a level that I'm pleasantly surprised by and shocked at.
I do think that things like that probably just were my mistake, and they're like oh, you're filming? Oh, it's in because like the snowman rape scene in the tub wasn't meant to be rape.
I was gonna say that's rape, right?
It turned into it.
He's smoking a pipe and stuff.
He came in after the fact to get a pickup shot to make it more implied sex, but he was just supposed to be bashing her against the wall.
Yeah, it seems like he's just bashing her.
They were editing it, going, it kind of looks like they're stooping.
Can we
let's make more?
Can we crank up the stuff?
Yeah. So then they added a one-liner, to make it.
Christmas came early.
Looks like Christmas came a little early this year. Well, hope it was good for you, honey.
Yeah, because the guy's like, oh, his carrot nose floated up in that scene. Oh, that could be, we don't see it during, ooh, girl.
That part, it's so, those things are so bad.
Yeah.
But not in a way that bothers me in this movie.
In a way that I'm like, I can't believe they made a snowman reconstitute in a bathtub.
With the
He's
carrot.
killing Shannon Elizabeth. This is, what?
And she just keeps her eyes closed. No, don't put cold water in.
Tommy, no. Don't put cold water in. No, it's freezing.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening? What do you think's happening now?
Well, if you open your eyes, it releases the heat. They're like extra blankets.
Right, it's like little hats for your eyeballs. They say you lose 70% of your body's heat through your eyeballs.
That sounds factual.
There's no skin.
I'm going to allow it.
No skin, no hair.
Your precious eye juices freeze over. You can't see. All right, guys. So that's everything we have to say about Jack Frost. If you've made it this far and still haven't seen this movie somehow, what are you doing? Go watch this movie. Fuck off. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
No, not at the moment, but if I think of something, you'll be the first to know.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions you can really trust.